Hey everybody. So in the last couple of years, I think we've all gotten more and more phone calls from scammers. Sometimes they claim to be from the Social Security office. Sometimes they're offering extended car warranties, and it doesn't matter if you're on a do not call list or anything, they just keep calling, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a day. In the last couple of years, I've been getting these kind of scammer things even on Facebook. They'll generally send you a friend request, and if you respond to that, usually within a couple of hours or maybe the next day, they'll send you a message saying hello and then telling you how they won from Publishers Clearinghouse, and they saw on the FedEx list that your name was listed as a fellow winner. So usually when this happens to me, I kind of roll my eyes and just click the message off and go on with what I'm doing. But I'm retired now and have more time on my hands, which is always dangerous. So this time I decided to engage the scammer and just see how long I could keep him going. So I hope you'll have as much fun with this as I did. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you're feeling particularly generous, hit the like button, as it really does help the channel. So let's see if we can make this work. You see up on the screen, Edward H. Fisher IV, new friend on Facebook. This is actually, I changed the name a little bit because this actually is a real person, a friend of a friend, whose account had obviously been hacked and probably still doesn't even know about it. So I changed the name somewhat. So it starts out with Edward H. saying, "Hello, how are you doing?" And at this point, I'm not sure it's a scam because this could be a friend that I just don't remember. So I answer kind of neutrally, "Good, thanks. How about you?" And he comes back with, "Am pretty good and blessed. Did you read the message I sent to you about the money I won?" Now I know that it's a scam because I've had messages like this sent to me before. So I go along with him and play dumb, which wasn't that hard. It was surprisingly easy. So I say, "No, but that's such great news. I'm all ears." Well, not literally. I also have eyes and a nose, etc. But you get the idea. I'm speaking metaphorically. So I think maybe he's going to know that I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek at this point. But he doesn't seem to. Thought you'd heard about it because I got $200,000 cash from the PCH, Publishers Clearinghouse, who helped the hearing, deaf, disabled, retired, and some Facebook users. So I say, fantastic. It's so great to see people helping people in this world. And he says, "I thought you should have heard about it too because I saw your name among the winner list when I was signing for the FedEx man. Have you gotten yours?" "No, I haven't heard a thing yet. That's pretty exciting." "Should I give you the real agent private link so you can get connected to her?" And I answer with, "If I won, wouldn't they contact me? I mean, if you hadn't seen my name on the FedEx sheet, how would I have even known?" And then Ed says, "Here is the agent's private link." And then he gives me this Brenda person's Facebook contact information. "Just message him that a friend told you about this and you want to know if you can also benefit from their program funds at A. Okay? At A? Okay, well, I don't know what that means, but what the heck. And then I say, "Brenda uses he, him pronouns? I use they. I'm not woke, but I do have multiple personalities." And Edward rightly ignores this and responds with, "All you need just text her." "Are you sure they're not scamming you? Did you actually get any money yet?" So I'm doing a little bit of a reverse good cop, bad cop thing, like he's getting scammed by her. Fortunately, I can afford to take a chance and lose money, but many people can't. This is kind of my way of letting him know that I do have money to lose to keep him going a little bit, maybe. So Edward says, "Okay, that's good. Brenda is very kind and trustworthy lady. She can be trusted." And then he says, "Just do whatever she tells you to do and make sure to keep me posted." So I get back with, "Where's she located? Is she at the PCH corporate office?" And he says, Have you texted the claiming agent and changed your name? You mean the agent in charge, Brenda? I thought PCH was supposed to show up at my door with Ed McMahon and surprise me on camera. I admit the fact that Ed McMahon is dead might complicate things, but don't they have a new version of Ed, an Ed McMahon 2.0? So again, I'm thinking he's got to know that I'm putting him on. And those of you who are younger might not realize that Ed McMahon used to be the spokesperson, and they made a big deal of the van pulling up to people's houses and surprising them on camera and this and that. I don't think they've done that for years.
Where can you win $1 million?
American Family.
$2 million?
American Family.
$10 million. Only from American Family. 3 grand prizes, folks. You may already be the winner of $1 million, $2 million, even $10 million. I will personally start awarding these giant prizes just 3 months from now. So watch your mail for the envelope with my picture. $10 million. All for you.
So Edward comes back with, have you texted her? And I say, not yet. I'm still trying to work through this whole Ed McMahon thing. I'm pretty sure they used to have a van, a Publishers Clearinghouse van. It was probably filled with all their cameras and stuff. And he says, I really understand how you feel about this, but you should know I'll never tell you to do anything that will hurt you. So he's a good guy. This program is real and very legitimate. It's a lifetime opportunity. And then he says, just give it a trial. You'll come back and thank me. And then I say, I really want to do this. Do you think maybe if I text Brenda, they'll send a van? I feel much more comfortable with face-to-face interactions. Call me old school. And he says, you got to admire his persistence. He says, just text her and follow all the instruction given to you. And remind me who you are, Edward. I know I should remember you, but at my age, it's so easy to forget things. And he says, ignoring the question, I'm with you in this. Just keep me posted. I am 100% sure about this. Believe me. Now, of course, he wouldn't say believe me unless he was telling the truth. And I say, I do want to believe you, Edward, but you haven't told me who you are yet. And where are you located? Also, do you have a van? And he says, this is a kicker, my name is Ed McMahon. Yes, I have a van. And I say, get out. Is it possible? Are you related to the Ed McMahon? The Here's Johnny one? Now I feel like we're getting somewhere. I was afraid you might turn out to be some low-life scammer. You know the type, the ones who try to scam vulnerable people out of their money. Lousy scumbags, worthless pieces of, well, you get the idea. And again, I think he's got to know I'm putting him on. And he says, Ed McMahon is my father, is the one that create this program for helping the hearing, deaf, disabled, retired, and some Facebook users to benefit out of it. And then he says, they don't charge fees for the grant. You're thinking too much. Ease your mind and get Tide payment done. I can't watch you lose this opportunity, and also I can't push you to scammers. Wow, I'm speechless. In fact, I was supposed to make a speech tonight, and now I can't. Luckily, I'll have money coming in through Publishers Clearinghouse to cover my loss. Have Brenda call me, Ed. Have Brenda call me, Ed. Better yet, send her over to that van of yours. Bring cameras, but don't expect any speeches, as I've already mentioned that I'm speechless over this whole thing. You come too. I'd love to meet Ed McMahon's son. And I can't believe at this point that he's taking me seriously, but you got to give him credit. He sticks with it. Okay, that's good to hear from you. Thanks. So great to hear from you too. And I spell here the way he did. Text the agent and follow all the instruction given to you and get back to. And then I make up a story. I just talked to Brenda. She doesn't think you even have a van. Not to mention a van full of cameras. And you're being Ed McMahon's son. Have you been lying to me this whole time? And he says, Give her all your full information so that your money will not be too stressful. I rarely find money stressful. There have been times when I didn't have money, and that was stressful. And then I follow with, because 5 minutes or more go by and I haven't heard from Ed, so I say, please come back, Ed. Have you forsaken me? I really meant nothing with that whole wife scumbag thing. You probably should try to be less sensitive. See, so I'm giving free advice to a scammer. And he says, woo! I'm not sure what he means by this. So I say, woo indeed. How about if I tell you that I believe everything you told me, including about the van? And that was a stretch for me. I believe in the van, and I believe in that van, which would include plenty of cameras and Ed McMahon's son, with all my heart. Please don't let it end like this. So now I'm pleading with him. I'm still trying to interpret woo. Does woo mean a sigh of relief that all is forgiven? That I get the van visit and a boatload of cash? And then he says, trust me. And, oh, I do. It's Brenda that I'm starting to distrust. That lying sack of, well, you get the idea. And then he sends me her link again, thinking that I'm going to contact her. And he says, are you sure that you text her link? Yeah, she's the one. Now that I really look at her, I just don't trust her face. You shouldn't either. You're obviously someone who only wants to help people, and then you get tied up with the likes of her. Drop her, Ed. Drop her like a hot potato. And then I say, she's pulling you down. You're too good for this. Don't let it happen. And Ed says, you know what you can only trust. And I'm not sure. You know what you can only trust. You can only just trust. I read that wrong, but it's convoluted. You're too good for this, Ed. Drop that no good Brenda. Let her fall like a lead balloon. Turn your back on her and just walk away. I know I'm mixing metaphors here, but I'm excited. Excited and worried on your behalf. Cut the chains that bind you to that devil Brenda. Rise up. Be free, my friend. So at this point, I'm thinking, how could he possibly think I'm serious? But he keeps coming back. Okay, let me give you another claiming agent number. And then he says, are you ready to text? And I said, yeah, another claiming agent might work. I just don't trust that Brenda. She's a snake in the grass if I ever saw one. And then he gives me a number to call there. Did you know how to do that? Are you there with me? And I say, do I know how to dial a phone? I do, but how do I know it won't be that Jezebel Brenda on the other end of the line? Just thinking about talking to her gives me the heebie-jeebies. And then he says, what's going on now? And I say, I'm thinking. Thinking of what again? If you're Ed McMahon's son, how come your last name is listed as Fisher? Plus, it says you were born in 1985, but your picture makes you look around 70, give or take. No offense. How do I know you're not in cahoots with Brenda? I've already made my feelings clear about Brenda, I believe. And then he goes, okay. And then I say, let's face the obvious facts here. That Brenda is just no damn good. And he says, trust me and trust Agent Brenda. Follow all her instructions. So I guess he forgot that he sent me a new agent because I dislike Brenda so much. And I say, we're back to trusting Brenda? I thought you were giving me a new agent, preferably one who holds her in the same low regard that I do. You may remember that she's the one that said you didn't even have a van. I sure wouldn't take that lying down. And then he says, he remembers about the second agent. Have you texted the second agent number given to you? And I say, I'm still thinking. Remember that Jack Benny skit where a robber came up to Jack and stuck a gun in his face and said, your money or your life? And when Jack didn't answer right away, the robber got really impatient, yelling, I said your money or your life. Jack gave that famous Jack Benny look and said, I'm thinking. Well, that's what I'm doing. And then Edward says, I don't think he knows who Jack Benny is. My advice for you to get back to Brenda and go tell her sorry so that you can also clam your money also. Apologize to Brenda? Never. The money be damned. I couldn't live with myself if I apologized to the likes of her just to clam some money. And he says, just please do that because of me. So we're back to that good cop, bad cop reversal thing. So he's my pal, so he's asking me as a personal friend to just clam the money. All right, tell Brenda to call and I'll try to make nice. And he says, don't ask her anything. If you see anything that makes you confused, you're free to ask me. And then he says, follow all her instruction. And then I say, I'm thinking again. And he gives me the link so I can get in touch with her again. And then he says, don't you trust me again? And I say, I do, but I need more time to think about this. Can we talk again tomorrow? I'm going to go to bed tonight and dream about all that cash. And so he says, okay. And then the next morning, are you there with me? Question mark. When I wasn't there, I think I was out jogging or something, so question mark, question mark. And then hello. And I say, sorry about the big delay. It was a heck of a weekend. I still haven't found my car. Do you still have the van? I had a friend one time years ago who lost his car after a big night out. So I decided to do that. And he says, yes. Don't ask the agent about the van. Have you gotten reply from the agent? So he doesn't want me to ask the person on the phone about the van. And I say, the van is a secret? And he says, yes. Can you send me a screenshot between you and the agent right now? And then he says, are you there with me? And I say, sorry, it's still a little crazy around here. I'm pretty old and I don't know how to do screenshots. And then he sent a message and unsent it. So I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I think I'm confusing him. And then he says, are you now talking to Agent Brenda? And I say, OMG, we're back to Brenda again? I'll try that number you gave me and hope to get someone else. I'll have to wait till this afternoon, though, as I have to follow up on a few leads regarding my missing car. And then he says, once you don't get that number, have C way out to clam your money. What? Once you don't get the number, have C a way out to clam your money. I don't know. And then he gives me a new contact on Gmail. That's the claiming agent's email. Message her right now that you heard about this and you are ready to apply for the program. And then he gives it to me again. And then he must have forgot that he sent it to me, so he sent the same thing again, or he double-clicked, or he did something. Then he says, are you there with me? And I say, I'm here, Ed. I actually called earlier today and was waiting to hear back. Have text the man given to you? I think he means, have you texted the man given to you? I don't know. And then he says, are you there with me? I both called, left a message, and emailed. So far, nothing. Are you sure these people are legit? And that's the call that I made in which I was Jackson me off. Call me Jack. And he says, and they're probably in different places. I don't know. Have you now get a reply back? You should check your email for their respond. I found it. Their respond went to my spam folder. I'm not sure I want to give my address and information to the type of person who gets sent to spam. And he says, don't you trust me? You have to give them your name and your address so they can verify your name is still on the winners list. I trust you, Ed, but that email is being sent to spam seems like such a Brenda move. That email being sent to spam seems like such a Brenda move. Like she's emailing tons of people trying to fish them in. And he says, I really understand how you feel about this, but you should know I'll never tell you anything that will hurt you. This program is real and very legit. It's a lifetime opportunity. Trust me, I can't hurt you or scam you. I don't have anything to do with Brenda again. So he's washed his hands of Brenda, maybe, I don't know. Will I have to pay taxes on this money, Ed? And he says, you don't need to stress me again. I'm tired. Just go and text the agent. So I finally wore him down. He's kind of disgusted with me because I've kept him on so long. And so finally I'm getting tired of this too. So I'm, you held on much longer than I thought you would. Which, sorry to say, Ed, probably means that in addition to being a low-life scammer, you're a real dope. Just saying. Oh, just curious. Do you even know who Ed McMahon is? And then he gives me this philosophical reply. And I think it's over. He's just wondering what the heck was that all about with me. But then the next morning he says, are you there with me? And then 3 or 4 days later, hello, how are you doing? And to this day, it's a week or so later now, to this day I'm getting messages from him saying, are you there? Hello, hello. So I'm just finishing up editing, and that poor dope Ed is still sending me messages. It's 2 weeks after he initially contacted me, and I almost feel guilty, but I do realize that people like that have scammed vulnerable people out of tens of thousands of dollars, so I don't feel too guilty. So hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe and maybe hit the like button and the notification bell. And I hope I'll catch you again soon.